A tight-knit community. A schoolgirl fails to show up for her Saturday job.
I hadn't spoke to her through the day, and I started to phone my mum more, and I was like, that's weird.
Has she just gone off with friends?
She's going to be somewhere in Glasgow at a party.
It's not unusual for teenagers to be missing.
Or has something more sinister happened?
I think you know somebody and you don't, you know?
How the hell did that happen on your own doorstep? Right on your own doorstep.
I remember saying to them, when he's going to start searching ditches for a body.
"15-year-old Paige Doherty had grown up in Whitecrook, on the bank of the River Clyde. She was a popular and fun-loving teenager.
Everybody knew Paige through our selfies, like everybody had their knew through parties and selfies and always been on social media, like.
I've known Paige since I've been 7 years old. We went and played in the playground and that, and just been best pals since then. Always on our phones, always talking about boys and always putting fake tan on.
Paige lived with her mum Pamela, stepdad Andrew and her siblings.
She was a really helpful, bubbly wee girl. She would do anything for anybody. She was really well mannered, and I suppose she was generous. She would give anybody a last penny, and she just was a really well-rounded wee girl. She was obviously had her moments, her tantrums and things with us as a teenager.
She was a typical teenager. Loads of dreams, loads of ambitions. 90% of them were crazy, but that was just her. But she was lovable, likeable. She just, and a madam. If there was a camera around, Paige was about. So she was pouting constantly. Adorable in every way.
However, on Saturday the 19th of March 2016, everything in the community was about to change. It was the day Paige Doherty went missing. Paige had spent Friday night staying at her best friend Lauren's house. They were both up early to go to their respective Saturday jobs.
We both went down the stair. I was getting my shoes on, and Paige was just in the kitchen because my mum had made her the packed lunch. She was like, right, okay, I'll see you later and that. And then this is when she gave me the cuddle right here. She went, catch you or something like that. And then I went like, right, I'll see you later, and then that was it.
The girls normally remained in contact via social media during the day. So when Lauren hadn't heard from Paige, she was worried something was wrong.
I was like, right, that's weird. I've not heard from her all day. And I started to phone my mum more, and I was like, that's weird. And I had texted her mum and asked Pamela if she had spoke to her, and she was like, no, she's just at her work and that, and she's not due until whatever time.
Paige's mum, Pamela, wasn't initially concerned by her daughter's lack of contact.
I've not heard from her. I said, but she'll still be working now. I said, she doesn't finish till about 6:30. I said, so I just gave her a wee bit of time. She says, but I've not heard from her all day. And I said, oh, I wouldn't worry. I said, she's obviously forgot her charger or something. She went, oh, she might have left her charger in mines, or I said, that's fine.
By 6 p.m, Paige had failed to return home after her Saturday job. But stepdad Andrew assumed there was an innocent explanation.
I'm thinking she's going to be somewhere in Glasgow at a party, and she's just done it off her own. She just kind of went, I'm going, and that's it. I already had it all planned out that she was grounded for this amount of time, and she was getting this took off her, and this was happening.
But having heard nothing from her all day, it was Paige's friends who felt something was wrong and turned to social media to try to track her down.
I remember messaging a few people that I knew Paige knew and hung about with, and they were like, no, I'm not here for her. And I just remember going on her Snapchat and checking, and there was nothing there.
I had messaged her saying, Paige, where are you? Get home, and it was read but never answered. That was so out of character.
As the evening wore on, and with no contact from Paige at all, Pamela made a shocking discovery. Paige had never made it to her shift at the hairdresser's.
That was nearly 12 o'clock, I think, before we realised, you know, where is she? And I think that's when we all started to get worried and think, let's try and get a hold of her, phoned her, WhatsApp, Facebook, and nothing. None of the messages were being delivered, phone was straight to voicemail, so nothing, we couldn't get a hold of her at all in any way. And that's when we thought, right, something's not right here, I think, towards the end of the night.
I phoned the police as soon as I knew she hadn't turned up to work, because I knew that's out of character.
With nothing to indicate a crime had taken place, police logged the call as a missing persons case.
There's 84 missing people per day in Police Scotland. You know, and of that, roughly a third of that will be under 16s. So 30 a day, if you say on average, you know, that's a huge amount.
There wasn't anything which struck us as being particularly unusual in relation to this missing person investigation. It's not unusual for teenagers to be missing and out of contact with their family, as they maybe go to friends' houses and they're maybe not quite so aware of the concern that their parents will have when they're out of touch. It's very unusual for something untoward to happen to them.
But as the day drew to an end, those closest to Paige were asking, how could a 15-year-old girl disappear without a trace on the way to her Saturday job?
By midnight, I had said to you, Paige's heart, she would never let it get to midnight without telling us where she was if she was able to. Everybody kept saying, no, you're overreacting. I kept saying, no, I'm not. Something's happened.
There's an appeal from the family of a teenager from Clydebank, Paige Doherty. The 15-year-old hasn't been seen since leaving for her Saturday job at a hairdresser's.
In Clydebank, Scotland, the close-knit community of Whitecrook had woken up to the news that much-loved 15-year-old Paige Doherty had been missing for 24 hours.
Come forward, and even if you think it's something stupid, just say it, just it could help.
Concerns for her safety were growing, and the community rallied together in the hope of finding Paige before it was too late.
Just driving round, looking. You were driving, so you were slowing down, and if they're dark here, you were kind of tooting the horn for them to turn round if they were facing the opposite direction. I was hoping that I would see her with one of her friends, laughing and joking, as if nothing was wrong. You were hoping that every teenager that you passed that had the dark hair, you would think, right, that's her. We were all hoping she was just being a typical teenager.
Felt helpless. Just kept doing this, looking to see if we had saw any of our stuff or anything like that, because we didn't really know what to look for at this time. We were sharing posts everywhere, going out putting posters out, asking people, bus drivers, like train drivers, everybody.
Seeing everybody in Clydebank come together and putting up statuses, posters, making sure like it was out there, people were knowing that Paige was missing and she was to be found.
As the day wore on, fear spread through the neighbourhood.
As the hours ticked by, the town was becoming more and more nervous.
I was like, oh, where is she? Like, why has she not told Pamela where she is or whatever? Why has she not come home from work? Like that, because Paige would always come home. The longer it was, like, the more worried I got.
I remember saying to them, when are you going to start searching ditches for a body? And the police saying, we've no reason to believe that your daughter's harmed. They said to me 9 times out of 10 they come home, and I can remember saying, well, 1 time out of 10, this one's no coming home, you need to look for a body.
With the neighbourhood search revealing nothing, the police investigation intensified.
The thing that was unusual for us that we've got a 15-year-old girl who is normally in regular contact with her friends and family, and at that point the concerns for her safety began to increase. They searched the home address to make sure that Paige wasn't within the home address, and also anything which might give us cause for concern in relation to their disappearance.
Police began house-to-house inquiries to retrace Paige's last movements from the morning she went missing.
The Sunday morning, officers attended at